Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another My Music. My name's Graham. It's a hot, sticky, sunny day, which is lovely because it actually started off a little bit wet this morning. Wherever you are, hope you are going to enjoy the next half an hour or so when I will be talking to the wonderful Jodie Knight about her life in music. First, though, very quickly, we're going to take a quick peek at this little video from Analog Trash. Please do enjoy, and if you enjoy it, go to their website and have a look. Jodie, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good, thank you. I'm really well. I'm in the sun, so can't complain.
I love this big shirt sleeve thing you've got going on there.
Yeah, it's just a really big shirt for me. I got it ages ago, and I used to wear really big clothes, and now it's like a bit ridiculous. But yeah, it's because I need to close the.
Yeah, but it almost feels like you could fan yourself with that and keep yourself cool, which is really good. I found you, as I do, by searching through, and people say, how do you find the artists that you get on the show? Sometimes PR companies send me, this is the truth for everyone that's out there, sometimes PR companies send me artists and go, listen, I want you to speak to this artist. Other times, musicians have watched the show and then they contact me, which is really nice, and say, yeah, I found you doing what lots of people might spend an evening doing if they like music, which is flicking through the social medias out there and scrolling past lots and lots and lots of stuff that's exactly the same. And then suddenly I hear this voice coming out and I think, oh my God, that's amazing. Because you have a wonderful voice that just knocks you off your feet as soon as you hear it.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Where did that voice come from?
Oh, that's a big question.
It is.
Yeah.
Who did you steal it from?
It hasn't run in the family.
Right.
It's not a musical family.
That's so interesting, isn't it, when that happens? Because you'd think, come on, someone in there must have been able to sing. No,
it's a bit of a joke in the family because my mum and dad do not sing / cannot sing, and there's not really anyone that even just like particularly musical. Like I think my nana played saxophone way back when, but not very cool. Well.
Oh, but not well. Okay.
Not very well. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where it came from. I always loved music, and then it always felt very natural. Although listening now to like stuff that I did when I was much younger, I do cringe a bit because it's just, I mean, as you do, your voice changes, but yeah, it was a bit iffy at the start.
It was close, but not that close.
Yeah. Well,
What were the listening back? Because you've obviously got copies of early recordings of you, which some of us would have just got rid of. What was it? What bad habits did you have in the early days, or things that you were forcing, etc., that you've now learned to deal with?
I think there was a lot of mumbling. I used to mumble all the time, and really? When I was really lucky, I got into a recording studio when I was about 14. And worked with this amazing producer, Judd Mahoney. Worked with him, since I was 14. He's incredible. And every time I did a take, he'd be like, diction through the vocal booth.
Love that.
So he drilled it into me, and now I still sometimes mumble a bit, but stuff like just trying a bit too hard. I think when I went to uni in 2018 and studied songwriting production, and we got some kind of vocal lessons then. And I remember the vocal coach saying, just like stop doing all these runs and like less is more. And at first I was like, what? No, like the runs are really cool.
I can do the runs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if I could do them, to be honest, but yeah, and then something clicked, and yeah, I just realized, I thought, do you know what? It's actually, I'm trying too hard at making it harder for myself to sing. Whereas now it's much easier because it's very natural. So lots of little habits. And I actually got my tonsils out, which I think changed my voice as well. Like listening back, I can hear the difference. I mean, I can obviously hear it more than anyone else because it's a personal thing. But yeah, my voice sounds a lot more closed when I had the tonsils, because I used to have really inflamed tonsils. So lots of changes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Did you used to suffer with like tonsillitis and things like that quite a lot when you had the?
Yeah, I went through a phase of getting it. I had got it like 4 or 5 times in the space of 2 months. So then it was like, get them out because they were a nightmare. But yeah, not fun.
Yeah, I used to suffer with that quite a lot. Mind you, that was back in the day when you played clubs and things like that where everybody smoked.
Yeah.
And I actually then discovered, I actually saw a ear, nose and throat specialist at one point, and they said, you're actually allergic to smoke. And it kind of went, what do you do outside of, I was at uni studying, but I was also in this band touring and whatever. And I said, yeah, well, I play clubs and stuff. And they were like, well, that's probably the worst thing to be doing then. So yeah.
All types of smoke?
I don't know, but I've always tried to avoid smoke since then,
I think just in general it's not very good for you, but yeah, it's really not good for you.
And I celebrated when the government made a complete sea change on that, and actually then decided pubs, clubs and all of those things were smoking free areas, etc. It was like, yes, finally you can go in and you can sing and no one's smoking, which is great.
Yeah.
But that was it back in the day. You used to go in and you could smell the smoke and feel the smoke.
I can't imagine that. I mean, I actively avoid the smoking area because I don't smoke and I've never smoked. So I cannot imagine what it would have been like everywhere.
Yeah, that's what it was like back in the day. So nobody musical in the family that you know of, in the immediate family?
No.
Maybe one day you'll be so famous that you can do one of those "Who do you think you are's?" and go back generations and generations and generations and find the music person in the family way back. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Someone did that the other day. I can't remember who it was. Someone that actually. Oh yes, I do. It was Andrew Lloyd Webber that did one the other day, and and it was fascinating because he went backwards, back a long way back, and quite a long way back in his family there was somebody that wrote music and put on these elaborate plays, and a brother who was the greatest cello player in the country at the time. How weird is that? Because him and his, that's him and his brother.
Yeah, that's very strange. Gosh, runs in the
maybe you just haven't gone far enough back yet. So no one there, sort of, So where did the sort of love of making music, etc., come from then? Because there's always someone.
Yeah.
There's always a key little linchpin in there, someone that sort of like helps you.
Yeah, there was. I have a very vivid memory of when I was about 7 years old, and we were on holiday in Portugal, and there was this area in the Praça, which is like the little square with all the restaurants and stuff, and there was a stage in summer, and there was this band playing, and I was just mesmerized by them. And there's photos of me, as a tiny little toddler, just staring up at them, which I actually have kept in a drawer because I'm like, that's a really cute photo. When I was about 7 or 8,
that's got to be the inside of an album cover one day, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the saxophonist and just being like, that's so cool. And at the time my brother played guitar, just kind of played it in school, and I was like, well, I can't play that because that's his thing. And I saw the saxophone, I was like, I want to play saxophone, that's so cool. So yeah, so I then picked up saxophone when I was about 8 and in P4, which is primary 4. Played that for a while, played that for about 7 or 8 years, and then I went to like a singing, dancing, acting group, kind of as you do when you're a kid, just like the activities that your parents put you in after school to like get you out of the house. And the acting and dancing part, no, that wasn't for me. That didn't come naturally. But the singing, I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And kind of, I don't think I really expressed how much I loved it, because when I was then like, 11, 12, I entered a school talent show, and my parents were a bit shocked because they were kind of like, where's this come from? What, you don't sing?
Wow.
Well, I obviously just sang in my bedroom and kind of didn't really make a thing of it. But yeah, kind of the rest is history. Like, just loved it. And then people kind of, that performance of me singing that talent show when I was 11 years old, that I still have that video, and it's so funny. I'm singing Ed Sheeran Lego House, and I'm like in a little red hoodie standing on the stage. I'm tiny. I'm in first year. And my voice is just so high pitched and so innocent, and it's such a sweet video. But yeah, wow. I think there was just lots of things, and it just, like I say, I always just loved it. I just loved singing, and then it kind of, one thing led to another, and having played saxophone, I then got my brother to teach me some guitar, and then in lockdown taught myself piano, but that's kind of obviously over a span of many years. So yeah, long answer to your question. Not really one particular moment where I was like, this is it.
That video is going to go viral one day when you're supporting Ed Sheeran in concert, and you put that out.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, you'll be happy for it to be shared at that point. It'd be like,
definitely.
I've got to allow this to go out. So you're in London now, but you're obviously not from London. Where exactly did you grow up?
So I'm from Glasgow originally. I have quite a soft Glasgow accent, so everyone's always kind of puzzled by where I'm from. And I moved down here in January, so about 6 months ago. So I'm pretty new to London. But yeah, grew up in Glasgow, went to uni in Liverpool for 3 years, and back to Glasgow for a bit to save up some money, and then now I'm here.
Has growing up in Glasgow or that area, has that influenced your music at all?
I don't know. I wouldn't say so particularly. Like, I'm not massively into Jerry Cinnamon or any kind of like really Scottish music. I don't know. I feel bad saying that. I feel like I'm betraying Scotland. It's not that. I guess because, I meet people and they're like, oh yeah, my whole family's musical. My mom was musical. My dad was musical. There was music playing throughout the house all the time, and we were getting lessons in this, and this. And it was like they were child prodigies, and there was so many influences kind of thrust at them. And so it was kind of very certain that they were going to be influenced by these things. Because for me, my parents, there was music in the house, of course there was, but because we weren't a very musical family, I kind of was obviously subconsciously taking influences from the stuff my parents listened to. But my dad's from Norwich, so my mum's from Glasgow, but yeah, I guess I wasn't really surrounded by a ton of
what about now, because that's quite a move. Glasgow to London is quite a move. They're both cities, but it's quite a culturally different vibe. Has that move in itself influenced the way you think about things, or the way you're looking at stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think now that I'm 23, I'm kind of figuring out who I am, as cringe as that sounds. And yeah, since moving here, I've just been very inspired, written loads of music. I'm also kind of surrounded by more musicians and reaching out to a lot more people. And the thing about being here is it's great is that because there's so many people, there's like so many more people I want to work with, whereas in Glasgow it was quite a small pool. And I just feel like here there's so much more for it, and like 90% of people you reach out that I reach out to are like, yeah, cool. I'm in North London, I'm in West London, so let's do a session. And I feel like I'm really I've learned now that collaborating with people, you are influenced by them so much. So I'm like, what music do I love? Whose music do I love? And just message them and be like, I love what your music. Can I
love that. It's a great approach. Now, I was going to say, you are very definitely a collaborator. You're definitely. What is it about that process that you love so much?
I think I kind of started doing collaborations, not by accident, but I didn't kind of go into it being like, I need to collaborate with so many people because this is going to make my writing better. It does make your writing better because, you're forced out of your own mind. But yeah, it kind of happened accidentally. And then through doing collaborations in dance music, other then producers would then reach out to me, and it just makes it interesting, changes it up a bit. Don't get me wrong, I love writing just myself and just me. It's like a therapy session. But writing with someone else, they always bring something that you don't have. And it's like, that's really cool. That's a really cool melody, really cool lyric, really cool instrumental. And I think that is just amazing that you can just meet up with someone and, by the end of the day have written a whole song or, most of the time you do write a whole song. And every day it's different. That's what's, so special about it.
What's been the biggest sort of surprise to you in that collaboration process so far? What it maybe, talk about a song that you've collaborated on. What was, something where you went, I would have never thought of that?
Do you know what? There's one that just come to mind. I went to a writing camp in Hamburg last year. And, all of my songs, both dance and my pop stuff, are like, I love to write really poetic lyrics. I like them to have a really strong meaning because, I relate to that. And then I got in this session and we were kind of writing a bit of tech house track, and it's quite hard to write
meaningful lyrics
over tech house beats. But I was like, cool, let's see what we're gonna do. I'm never one that says no to an idea. I'm always like, yeah, let's just roll with it. And this girl, it was two producers, and then this other girl came in. Her name is Mary, and she was just like, I've got this really cool idea, writing a song about, and we wrote this song called Cucumber Eye, and it was like the spoken word thing. I never do spoken word because I'm like really comfortable singing, but I find it weird talking. And we wrote this song, and like the stuff she was coming up with, I was like, where does your brain go? And I think I said that to her. I was like, I have no idea what's going on there, but I love it. And you're great. And the whole time I was just sat there in absolute awe because I was like, I would have never been able to think up this myself. And I was kind of like frantically trying to come up with ideas because I was like, I hate being the person in the session who isn't coming up with ideas. So I was just like, coming up with too many good ideas. Maybe.
And does that then make you want to be an artist where you kind of put in surprises for people in your music?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's nothing more rewarding than when someone comments on a lyric that you've written, because so many people don't listen to lyrics, or someone comments on something about the production and it's like, I've spent a lot of time on that and I thought that was really great, but for someone to actually notice it and tell you is really, really special.
Yeah, I love artists where you think you've got it down, but then they throw a curveball in the middle of a song and it's like, whoa, you know, and it might jar originally, on the first listen or whatever. You might go, whoa, that's not what my ears used to, but that to me is great. The more I actually hear music which makes me go, that's not what I've heard before. That's different. That's great.
It's hard to sound like something that's not been heard before.
It's so hard. It's so hard to be, do something that's really, really original. And so I think sometimes artists go off the boil a little bit and maybe actually get into a rut where maybe they're kind of producing a template of themselves. They find a sound that's different, etc. And then they kind of template it for a while, and then sometimes, you know, they need to come back and go, or find a different way to like cut into that and do something different, but still sounding like them. That's always the difficult bit with an artist, isn't it? It still needs to sound like you, but want it to be different as well.
That brand thing is so difficult. I've had so many chats with people and they're like, you need to get your brand on point. And I'm like, who am I? I don't know who I am.
For you, who's doing it at the moment? Who's actually smashing it in terms of writing stuff that sort of pricks your interest, but actually
that's a good question.
Keeps your interest whilst you're listening.
I'm really, really into Lizzie McAlpine at the minute. I think she's, you know, it's such a popular song for a reason. That song Ceilings, when I first heard it, you know, that was a song where you first listen to it and you're like, oh, this is really beautiful. And then she does that thing where she switches it, and you know, the lyric is like, but it's not real and you don't exist. And you're like, what? Like, I think I was listening to it while I was brushing my teeth or something, and I literally got goosebumps because I was like, oh my God, it's like when you watch a movie and then at the end there's this crazy twist where you're like, everything I thought was, I know,
it's for people that are old enough to remember, it's like it's like the film Sixth Sense.
Yes, Bruce Willis, love that movie.
Right, where all the way through and then suddenly like the kid's like, I see dead people, and you go, oh my goodness, they're all dead.
Exactly. That's
exactly that, isn't it?
Yeah. So she's just, she is absolutely amazing. But the thing is, I listen to so much music all the time. So like I have a playlist for every month and I just add loads of music to it, and every kind of month it's different. But
you have to.
Yeah, you do. But she's her recent album, I thought there was some really, really, really good songs on there.
Is your best song still to come, hopefully? Yes.
I hope so.
and where would you like to see your songwriting grow and develop? Where you know, let's be frank and open and honest about this. You can in this space. It's fine. No one's going to judge you. Where do you think you can improve on where you've already been?
I think the last couple of years I've done a lot of dance music and written in that sphere, and I think that's a great sphere, but I think it's quite limiting in terms of subject matter, because, you know, dance music is, you know, people only want to hear about a certain number of things, whereas in pop music and, you know, the songwriting capabilities are so vast. So I'm really trying right now to write with more people in that genre. I think, for me, whenever I go into a session, I always am like, right, let's get something quirky, something a bit different, because, you know, everyone writes love songs and it's very hard not to write a love song, but it's writing one that has just got that edge that's relatable, but also like, what? That's so different than just like, I fell in love, or he cheated on me, or whatever, you know. So I think more like that. And I wrote a song years ago when I was I did a ski season, kind of last minute frantic thing after school, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to do music, but I didn't know if I could do it. So, and I was away in the mountains, and I had a guitar for like a day whilst I was there training. And I wrote a song called The Mountains, and it was about like Mother Nature and how we need to take care of our planet, but without being like, save the environment, you know. I thought it was all right, but I always have kind of like, I love how I wrote a song that wasn't about love, and I would love to do more of that, because it's hard. It's really hard. I want to write songs that are a bit different.
Or it's about love, but it's not about like love between people. Maybe it might be love for the planet, or it might be love for, you know, it might be love on a different plane. As opposed to just boy, girl,
I love you,
girl,
you love me.
Girl. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I like that. That will keep you in good stead. You know, I think, you know, when you're young as well, it's quite hard sometimes to know your purpose in the world. So you know what where your skills are, and you're beginning to understand how to use your skills to go out there, but you perhaps don't necessarily know what your sort of your massive transformational purpose is on the planet. What am I here for? Well,
Yeah.
you know, once you get into that, it's the same. It's no different from any other business, right? Businesses have, if anyone's out there and you've started a business, you're a small business owner, you all know that it's, you know, there will be a million other people doing possibly what you do. And that's definitely the case for musicians.
Yep.
You've got to find your thing that sets you apart, that people go, that person does that, and they really do it better than anybody.
It's hard to be original nowadays, but the people are doing it, so it's like it is possible. It's just, I mean, it's hard, you know, only a few people make it for a reason, because it is hard. Like, it's not an easy industry, and I think that's why, yeah, when people make it, that's like they've been doing it for a long time. They've put in the graft, they've put in the work, because no one becomes famous overnight. And it's frustrating when people are like, oh, so and so just like rose in, you know, a couple of months, and it's like, no, they didn't. They were playing pubs and they were absolutely grafting for years and years and years, and then they've gone from being slightly famous to really famous really quickly. Yes, but no one sees the like 10-15 years before of just, you know, gigs to like 5 people. The amount of gigs I've done to no one is, you know, a lot.
I know it's sad. We've all been there. We've all done it. Anybody that's in a band or you know, as an artist, we've all played those gigs where there's hardly anybody there. But you know, for me, it was always about playing those gigs like there are 100 people or 1,000 people there. You know, regardless of just whether it's one person or not. It's hard when it's a completely empty room, but if there's one person there, that's it, you know. Yeah,
played to a lot of just like sound desks. The technicians are like, yeah, there's no one here, but you need to start. I'm like, cool, well, it's a private concert for you.
I think your voice is so stunning. I think if you get the right opportunities, you'll go all the way. Who would you most love to work with?
This is a very easy question. I am a very big fan of Fred again. He's kind of, you know, what I was just saying about that thing hard about being original. I feel like he's massively kind of made this new genre almost of music, which is just, there's just something about his music that gets me inside, and obviously gets everyone inside, because he's become so famous. And yeah, I think his music is that beautiful cross between dance music and pop music and R&B. Like, he kind of has merged a bit of everything and just takes from everywhere, and it just works so well. It's like so satisfying to listen to. It's amazing. So he would be my dream collaboration.
Dance music you can listen to, if that makes sense, folks.
Because I mean, I love dance music, so I can listen to most dance music, but lots of people don't like dance music, but then they're loving Fred again, and it's like, what is it about his music that they can listen to that they can't listen to other forms of dance music?
Well, I just think it is for a lot of people. It's just that thing that you're right. A lot of people do listen to dance music and will have it on in the car, whatever. But then there's a lot of other people where dance music works in situ, if you like. So if you're there and you're dancing, it's great. But they might just find it too cerebrally limiting.
Yeah, I have friends that are like, it's so repetitive.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. They're maybe not, you know, they're not really getting into the vibe of it, or they're just not hearing the nuances of it or whatever. But when you get an artist where it spans over that, and it's music that you can really just sit and listen to and enjoy, or you could get up and dance to, that's going to make it work.
And it has.
Absolutely. Well, we will tag Fred into this conversation with the request that he gets in touch and makes this happen.
I actually bumped into him in the street the other day when I was coming out of a gig.
And we'll mention that as well, that you bumped into him. Where was it?
It was outside Hackney Earth Centre. Hackney. Yeah, Hackney Earth.
Hackney Earth.
Hackney Earth. Yeah, I was leaving a gig and I spotted him, and I ran up to him and spoke to him and gave him my card, and I was like, I am such a big fan and it'd be my dream to collaborate. Can I give you my business card? I have to ask. And he was lovely. He was so, I did, yeah. He was so lovely.
So we just need to get a campaign going to.
I'm just hoping he lost the business card, and that's why he hasn't contacted me.
There you go. So Fred, when you're watching this back, because we've tagged you into it, please do get in touch with Jodie. She's got an amazing voice. If you haven't listened to her voice, do check out her music. You'd be mad not to. Really, you know, next project, she's your lady. We just want that. We want that to happen. We all want that to happen. If you're watching this over the next few days and you want that to happen, just vote by resharing this and you know, telling Fred that that's what you want to happen. Because you know, we could make dreams come true, and that would be a lovely thing. So Jodie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. For people that haven't found your music yet, where's the best place to go? You do have a website.
Got a website which is nice and easy, www.jodieknight.com. I'm on all socials at Jodie Knight UK, and that's Knight obviously with a K. Yeah, you can find me everywhere. I've got that handle. I managed to bag the Jodie Knight UK handle, so it's nice and easy. Same thing for everything. And
I can tell you folks that she will, if you message her, she will actually answer you back. So,
I will. I do.
And unless you're rude, in which case she might not. But if you're nice, you've got something nice to say. If you want to tell her that you like her music, I'm sure she will comment back and let you know. Jodie, you've been wonderful to have on. Next time we speak, it will be in different circumstances. You will be, you know, one of the world's top selling artists, and that will just be a lovely thing. So I do appreciate you coming in to tell us a little bit about your upbringing. I hope one day, you know, you actually make the rest of your family proud. I hope one day you get so famous, as I said to you earlier, that you actually can use one of these TV programs to find out where in your genealogy, where it's come from. Yeah, that would be a nice thing as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to chat to you.
Pleasure. Please, folks, if you've enjoyed this afternoon, please share it with other people. And remember, if you have enjoyed it, it's been My Music with myself, Graham Cofe. If you haven't enjoyed this afternoon, then this has been an instructional video for small bits of Lego and how to get them out from plastic drain pipes when they get stuck in hairs. Until next time, take it easy and bye for now.